Alright, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use my newly made Skit System script. And it comes with a bunch of instructions obviously, but it's kind of a bit complex and not so easy to understand straight off the bat. So that's what this video is for, to help explain it. Anyway, so as it states here, starts off with the edible region. I'll do that later, I don't need to do that right now. First thing we need to do is, in a map event, make 2 pages. So we already got one here, and make a new one. Self switch A in the second page. In the first one, make sure the auto run trigger is set. Alright, so this is going to be a skit event. Alright, now after we've done that, and we move on down, we have to make a script call. Now this script call is simply just start script with a skit name there. And what it does is, it lets the script know that you want this event to be a skit. Okay? And what it also does is it allows you to give it a name. So that's what skit name is for, and you can replace that with whatever you feel like. So I can have a whole bunch of text if I want to. But this is just the name of the skit. So, to think of anything, the first thing I can see is a can of Coke, so can of Coke. Hey. That's going to be the name of my skit, just can of Coke. Alright. So, that's starting the script. Anything else? Nope. Alright, conditional branches. Now, after you've started the skit, after you've inputted the script, start script, whatever you want to call it, I just call mine can of Coke, you then put in conditional branches. Now think of it as if they're if statements, so to speak, for this particular thing. Now what we want is, for our skit, we want to have certain things that need to be true, otherwise it can't be run. For instance, let's say this is a conversation between 2 of my party members. Let's see who we've got. We have... Alright, let's go with Eric and who else? Ernest. So now both Ernest and Eric need to be in the party. Otherwise you cannot use this, otherwise you cannot view this skit. But that on its own is probably not enough. So let's insert another conditional branch, and it's going to be switch. So we'll go 5, and we'll just go let's join party. Join party. So now he's part of the group. Okay. Give me. Paste it. So, in order for this skit to be available and to be able to view, event switch 5 needs to be on, Eric needs to be in the party, and Ernest needs to be in the party. And if I want to add in more conditional branches that require them to be true, I can insert more in here. So let's say I wanted someone else to be part of the conversation, like Natalie. Nope. Actor. Natalie. She has to be in the party now. Alright. So now we need to have Eric, Ernest, and Natalie in the party, in the active party, and event switch 5 needs to be on. Alright. So after you start a script, you need to input conditional branches and keep going on like that until you've satisfied what you want to have achieved. So the reason why I have Eric's in the party and Ernest in the party is because, well, in skits, people tend to talk to each other. So if I have party members that are going to be talking to other party members, and those other party members aren't in my group, then this conversation is going to be like, well, why are they talking to that other guy? That other guy is not. What's going on? That's why you do checks here, to make sure everyone who's going to be in the conversation is in the party. Okay. Now, after this one, we have the logical OR. I think we do. We just did that one. Yep, that's the one. Conditional OR. Now, this is a script call as well. And what it does is the following. It basically tells the script that you have two sets of conditional branches. And if either of those two sets are true, then the skit's available. So in this case, I have here event switch 5 needs to be on, Eric is in the party, and Ernest is in the party. So maybe it doesn't have to be event switch 5 that's on. Maybe I want, maybe event switch 6 can be on. And we'll just call that one Ernest forcibly join the party. I don't know. I'm just going on a limb here. So now that means if this and this and this is true, then you can run skit. Otherwise, if this and this and this is true, then you can run skit. And we can do that as many times as we want. So I can keep going skit conditional or and pasting it there, and then I can change this around to another event switch, and then whatever, and I can keep doing that as many times as I feel like. Alright, but I'm not going to actually do that, since the only thing I'm concerned about right now is the event switch 5 is on, Eric's in the party, and Nurse is in the party. Alright, but you can use skit conditional or if you want to have alternative branches. Okay. Now, what's next? Next is starting the conversation, I believe. Yes, it is. Alright. Now, the conversation part of it is just like any other event. You just go here into a script call and just go start skit conversation. And in your skit conversation, you input text and move pictures, and you can even do battle processing if you want to. Alright, so I guess I'll just have Eric say, "Hiya, Ernest." Eric. "Hiya, Ernest." Yep, and then comment. Blah blah blah. Because that's pretty much what they're doing. Blah blah blah, and then finish. Where's your face, Ernest? There you are. Finish. Alright, so just imagine like this, "Hi Ernest," and they have this long conversation, and then Ernest finally says finish, and then the skit's done. Well, I could do "Hi Ernest," then finish, and I can do battle processing if I want, so maybe I want those two to end up fighting each other as a sparring match or whatever. So I can do that, and I can do "Can escape and continue and lose," and yada yada. That all works just fine. Now, that's all you have to do to make a skit happen. You just have to do start skit, give it a name, and you'll see why the name's important in a moment. Do all of this until we get up to the event section of it, and the event section of it, do what you feel like. It's just eventing in any other form this way. Alright, and once you've finished all your eventing parts of it, you can either leave it blank or you have another option. And I actually mean leave it blank if you finished. I'll explain why in a moment. Okay. Now, after that one, you have the option of making the skit unavailable. So, unavailable means unavailable. And it's just like the start of the here. If you pass these these conditional branches, that means the skit's no longer available. So, for instance, let's say we don't need to worry about any of them being in the party. Let's say we get up to, I don't know, event switch 60. Let's go 49. 49. Ernest died. Alright. So, if Ernest is dead, then he can no longer be talking to Eric if this conversation was never viewed before. So if Ernest has died and this skit was never viewed, then it's now unavailable. It cannot be seen at all. It's finished. That's what the start unavailable skit conditions means. So if event switch 49 is turned on and this skit has not previously been viewed, then this skit will now no longer be available to be, can now not be viewed at all. And I actually mean it's gone. It gets deleted. That means you cannot call it back in and say, "Hey, I want to play this skit now. I have things." So if this ever becomes unavailable, you cannot re-enable it. Alright? Hey. Now, just like with the start one, the start skit thing, you can also use skit conditional or. So if I want to have two different options available to me, like first one, Ernest died. Otherwise, if I want, other options, I really can't think of any, but just to say event switch 48's on, and event switch 47 is on. So if event switch 47 and 48 is on, then the skit's now no longer available. See, so conditional or works for this one as well. Okay, that's really all there is to doing the skit process of it. So all you really need to worry about is this section here. Alright, this is your eventing section. You will be changing this every time you want to make a script, skit, because you'll be putting in the conversations between your actors into it, and your event stuff, and your show pictures, and whatever it is you're going to do. The start one is just your conditional branches that will be tested to make sure you've passed all of this, so you can actually run the skit. Alright, so the skit doesn't go inside of the conditional branches. Alright, just remember that. It goes here after they've all finished. Alright, it's just the way the script's made. Okay, and the same thing for unavailable skit conditions. So if you have unavailable skit conditions, make sure you put this stuff below your eventing stuff. Alright, so just make sure it's in this order to work. Alright, so script conditional or can be used here, and it can be used here. So just keep all that stuff in mind. I know it might be a lot to take in, but it gets really simple after a little bit. Okay, so with that done, what do we got to next? We've basically done the entire skit event. Oh yeah, make sure you leave it blank at the end of it. Like I said, you have to make a second page with south switch A onto it. The reason why you want to have the ending blank is because it adds in south switch A for you automatically after it's finished, after the script's finished with the event. And then it also adds an erase event. So behind your back, it basically does this. So you're worried about everything over here, and then as soon as the script is finished with all this, it adds this and then this. Alright, so that's why I leave it blank, because it will do it for you. And it will go south switch A, so make sure south switch A is actually on in the next page. Because if you ever come back to this event again and it goes through here and does this auto run, it's just going to keep adding a script and adding and adding and adding and adding, and you don't want to keep adding skits into the thing, because you will create a lot of lag that way. Alright. Okay. Now, the idea with all this stuff is, once it gets into this event, that's when the skit will be processed. So, my way of doing this would be to have a room full of every skit there is that will probably be in your game, so just like a big map full of events of skits, and then just go into there and let the events just go into the script one by one until they're all done, and then once they're done, just get out of there, because it will save. So that's how I would do it. Okay, now with that all done, we're up to set up images. Okay then, first of all we go to the editable region. Now in the editable region we have skit images. So there are images that are used for showing that you have a skit that you can be viewed now. Now the skit background image is just a simple thing that's behind the text, the name of the skit itself. I'll show you that in a moment. The skit button animation, think of it as if it's a broken up GIF. So you can actually animate a button being pressed if you want to. Yeah, and then the number of images that are in that animation itself. Alright, I'll jump back to that in a moment. Now, go to game folder, graphics, pictures, here. So, your skit background image has to be located in your pictures folder. and your skit button animation gets its own folder, which was specified here. So the directory of the skit button animation was, I called it skit button animation, and in my folder here I have the actual directory itself, skit button animation. Go inside it, and it's all in numerical order. So 1, 2, 3, and if I had more animations I'd go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, and just keep going on. Okay, that's all you have to do for that part. So just add in skit background images into your pictures folder and make a new folder called whatever it is you name this, and then inside of it just have images that are like in numerical order. Okay, and then we have the animation wait timer. Now this will be better shown in person, the actual script itself. So I'm gonna get this. This is going to be my script. I just have to memorize what I need to do. I need to have Eric in the party and Ernest in the party, and I need to activate Event Switch 5. Okay, so I'll just go into my database and I'll add in Ernest. Now all I have to do is activate Event Switch 5. Alright, so I need to walk into that location now, because so far there is no skit available because there's nothing in there. Not sure what that means here. Alright, so I have in my thing here, this is not in the actual script. I have here the skit scene, available skits and unavailable skits. So far at the moment we have no skits that have been seen, no available skits and no unavailable skits. So all across into here. Alright, now we've just got the skit itself. We'll go back. Here we go. Now we have skit scene, none. We have available skits here. We have one skit here that's available, and then we have no unavailable skits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to F9. I'm going to turn on Event Switch 5. I'm going to save it too, since I can come back to this in a moment. And there you go. Here comes the script call, the skit. So yeah, that's the name of the skit right there, Can of Coke. So that's why I said make sure you give it an appropriate name. I press S. Hi, Ernest. Finish. And then battle.
Never stood a chance against me.
There we go. Script is skit's done. Okay, now anything else I have to add? Yes, I do. The animation wait timer itself was, as you could see with the button thing, it was going rather slowly, so you can make it quicker by putting this down. So I put it 15 now, and when I look at it, it should be moving a bit faster. Actually, I'll change it to 3, that way you'll definitely notice it's being faster. Game. No, no game. Continue. There it was right there. And you can see it's moving really quickly now, so you can tell it's sped up. I think 15 was good. 15. Now the skit animation specs is, as it says over here, the X position, Y position, image width, and image height. Now this is used for the entire notification area. So wherever the animation button picture moves, so does the background image and the text. So the X position is 20 at the moment, so that means if we pretend this is the screen for a moment, it's 20, so it's just over about here. 10 means 10 down from the screen, from the top of the screen, so if we're starting here, we move down 10 pixels, so we're about here. And then the width and height of the actual animated image itself, image collection, is 75, so it's like that. Just play around with that and you'll be able to get a feel for it. Alright, we have the font size here. So size of font which displays name of skit. Now we've been looking at it in 18 so far. So if we make it bigger, like 32, you will notice that the actual skit name itself is bigger. And you can also change the color if you want to. So I've been using white this entire time. Whereas if I wanted the text to be red, I could just put in completely red. So RGB values, and if you don't know what RGB values are, you can search it up, and it's quite simple. Okay. Oh yes, and the max opacity. That's good too. So if you want to be able to see through the actual the skit notification a little bit, you can modify this. So at the moment I have it as 150, which means you can kind of see through the skit notification, so you can see the top of the map. But if I have it as 255, that means I won't be able to see above. I won't be able to see past the actual skit notification. Alright, so it's definitely bigger font, and it's also red now. And as you can see, I cannot see past the notification thing. I cannot see the map behind it. So that's why I like the values the way before, where it was 150 and 18, and I can change this to be any color I want. And what's full green and full red? We'll find out in a moment. Alright, now fade in speed for skit notifications. This is pretty straightforward. That means every frame the opacity will be increased by 1, and every frame that the skit's not available, it will decrease by 3. That's pretty simple and straightforward. And then we have the skit key. So the skit key is, I put the actual table here. So you can put in, I have it as Y, which actually means the S key on my keyboard. And like I said over here, gotta wonder how Enterbrain thought this was a good idea, because that really doesn't make sense to me. But you can just put one of these here into the equal sign, and you will get one. You'll be able to use one of these to activate your skit. So in my case, I'm using the S key, and I even have an image saying press S to use it. So I just have it as Y there. Okay. Now with all that done, I just want to check this one more time, and the condition that will make it unavailable is that Ernest died. So alright, we'll play it. Continue. Load up my console here. Alright, F9, activate 49. Ernest died. Go back. Look here. Alright, so we no longer have any more available skits, and our unavailable skits has been included with one, which was the one that's no longer available. And we cannot press S to activate that skit anymore. It is gone, it is finished, it has gone KO'd. So that's what happens once you've hit a condition. So, hit again. S, play the full thing.
This is gonna be a piece of cake.
Escape. Alright, leave, go back. Alright, now we have skits seen. So we have seen a skit now, but we no longer have any more available skits, and we don't have any unavailable skits. Okay, that seemed like a bit of a quick opinion to me, but that's all there is to the skit thing. You just have to keep in mind that to start a skit, you just go start skit, enter a name of the skit itself. So if I was to change this and then go back over there, it would change. So instead of can of Coke, we can go can of Pepsi. Pepsi. I like Coke better. New game, walk in, get the skit, go back out, because now we have the skit. Over here. Alright, it's available now. It was always available, I'm just over here for proof. 9. Manage your own party. Hey look, can of Pepsi. Alright. Alright, that's all to the script. That's all there is. That's all she wrote. If you understood a little bit better, then I have achieved my goal. Otherwise, well, crap. Anyway, until next time, stay safe.